Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to a brand new Let's Play here on the channel as we're kicking off a E01 campaign here in the 190 start with the Fates Divided DLC. Now E01, as one of the new factions added in the DLC, provides a very interesting mechanic in that you have two parts. You have aspiration points being gained when you're playing as E01, and then you have inheritance, where you pass on your points and your missions to an heir, and they get different bonuses depending on when you get the inheritance. So after taking a look at his faction, I decided to make this into a challenge campaign, where we will turn up all the trade-offs at the start of turn 1, and try to pass on our faction as early as we can. I'll explain what I mean by that once we get into game. But it should be fairly challenging since each of the trade-off is very punishing in the early game. We don't have a lot of resources, especially as we plan to play this on Legendary, so there's already the debuff from the Legendary difficulty, and then we're going to get hit with farther debuffs from our trade-offs, which will only increase every 5 turns. So it's going to get worse. The pain doesn't just end from turn 1, it just keeps going. So hopefully we'll be able to come out of this in one piece, and we're probably not going to pass on the faction to Liu Zhang here. So I took a look at some of the bonuses, and it seems like when you inherit, only your heir will get the boost. So I originally had this plan where we find a proxy heir, some random generic general without any resiliency, and have them get killed after we pass it on, and that way we can have Liu Yan back at the helm. But then we don't get any of the heir benefits, so it doesn't feel as good. So perhaps we won't be doing that, but we'll definitely be challenging ourselves with all the trade-offs and trying to figure out how to do all the missions while having all the trade-offs on. So that would be the fun part. Now as for the faction, Liu Yan still has the same background as before, from the opportunistic ruler. This might get updated in future patches, where he will get more points and maybe some better faction-wide bonus from his background, but right now it's okay. 20% character salary, 25% redeployment cost, and plus 10 faction support. His traits are kind of all over the place. We get ambitious, which is not useful because we can't be administrator until we let go of our faction. At that point it would work, but we would also get the 50% desire for higher office, so that's not great. Deceitful makes spying better for you if you can be a spy, which I highly doubt, and superstitious will trigger some events. Now this one's quite historical. We'll be talking a lot about Liu Yan from a historical perspective. We recently did a Let's Talk Lore series on him. It's a mini-series with 2 episodes, so I feel like that one's already pretty in-depth, but there's a lot of small stories that maybe we didn't get to talk about, and we'll maybe touch on that. For example, Zhang Lu's mother was known to have very good skin at her old age. Like, she was very well-preserved lady, and that she practiced Taoism. So people thought maybe their family knows the secret to everlasting life, and she was a very good talker, and she got very close with Liu Yan's family, and that's the only reason why Zhang Lu even got a position in the first place. And that's all thanks to the fact that Liu Yan is quite superstitious, and the fact that he even came to the E province in the Shuba region was based on the fact that he heard a rumor from Dongfu, who said that from this region an emperor will be born. So he switched his assignment originally from the Jiao province, which would be all the way down here where Shixie is. If he went there, maybe Shixie wouldn't become also powerful down south. Instead he went to the E province because he heard great things over here about maybe he can have a chance to become an emperor himself, and he definitely had that dream. So ambitious also feels good, and deceitful also captured him quite nicely because he kind of tricked the emperor into giving him the governorship, or even making this government role. Before previously there was no governor position in the Han Dynasty. It was all about having a prefect who is just a supervisor in the province, and then you have administrators in the commandery. Now you have this all-powerful entity as a governor who's really just a mini emperor in your own province, especially after Zhang Lu helped him cut off the roads from Hanzhong, and that really isolated him and provided him the opportunity to kind of dream about becoming an emperor himself. So all these fit very nicely. and we'll be, starting this campaign off. You can see that we start with 3 counties here. We are not at war with any major factions in the beginning. We are isolated. We have a few rebellions to take care of. We'll talk about those characters as well. And once we deal with them, we have to plan out how we want to expand. And most likely what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a position that's anti-Han and just try to push our way out, because those are the easy territories and we really need some territories in the beginning, or else we can't handle all the trade-off penalties. So with that said, we'll be jumping in here. China must be united.
洛阳大火，皇城付之一炬。天子须扬董卓鼻息而活，汉室危矣。眼下的局势着实令人痛心，但或许是您脱离汉室，谋求自立的千载良机。张鲁之母在我们手中为质，此子应不足为虑。但万一他破釜沉舟，会造成极大的威胁。眼下最要紧的是处置叛军的袭扰，您必须尽快镇压他们，以免其叛逆做大，反客为主。密林中的南蛮部落虽如当前的汉家天下一般，不过一盘散沙，但万一吴越同舟，您的处境将危如累卵。我们的未来与您的后世威名都在此一举了，主公，千万不能行差踏错。
Alrighty, so that was our flyby introduction, and we can see here seeds in the garden. Liu Yan, my lord, you have been appointed as the governor of the Yi province as you requested. This place is far enough away from the central Han rule that we can work on developing our ambitions and aspirations for, dare I say it, emperorship. As the Han Empire wavers under pressure from its foes, and the tyrant Dong Zhuo makes a mockery of the imperial authority, what opportunities will we carve out from this? So, they have a couple of advice for us. We need to complete aspiration tasks to prepare our heir and offer them various bonuses once they do take over. Enable aspiration trade-off to generate aspiration resource which your heir can then use to purchase powerful bonuses. And keep an eye out on inheritance timeline to try to pass the mantle at the ideal point in time. So these are not really campaign advice, they really are mechanic advice. And our first mission is to take care of Jia Long, was once an ally, a friend who helped you bring peace to this land. However, there are whispers that he now plots against you, my lord. Before this can happen, you must swiftly crush him. So Jia Long's faction is right under us, and we can wipe him out for 5,000 boost to treasury, which is actually quite a lot. And he doesn't start out with much. He just has one county, the salt mine here underneath Shu. And once we get him, we get 5,000. So that's a big reward. And Jia Long's right here, alongside of Zhao Wei, who is quite an influential character in this region. He sparked a lot of the rebellion under you, and we'll explain why that is in a bit. We'll first take a look at where we are. So we have one piece of Basi, a farmland. We have Shu, the capital, in Chengdu, and we have Luocheng here in the farmland as well as part of Shu. So Luocheng historically was the administrative capital of the Yi province from the Qin dynasty all the way into the Han dynasty. But when Liu Yan came, he picked his site in Mianzhu, which should be slightly north of Chengdu, but it was a big fire and it burned down, and then they shifted to Chengdu after that. And Luocheng is where Pang Tong would die, supposedly in an ambush in Romance of the Three Kingdoms, but historically they were assaulting a city here. It's not really a farmland. This is really should be a city because it was the capital of the entire Yi province, all the way back to even when you had the Shu kingdom before in the spring-autumn period. But when they were assaulting the walls, Pang Tong took an arrow as he was leading the assault, and that killed him. So that was where he died. Because Luo is also the character for Phoenix, and because Pang Tong was the Sleeping Dragon and Falling Phoenix. So that's what he basically they invented this valley outside called like Falling Phoenix Valley where he would die in an ambush, basically fated to die here. That's kind of the gig that was being mentioned throughout Romance of the Three Kingdom. Regardless, we start out with quite a strong army, an expensive one as well. We have Dongzhou we have 2 marksmen and 2 defenders. These units are okay. They're actually pretty good compared to standard units, but they are pricey. 240 for these, 172 for these. These have good range damage, 50 and 10. I think they're comparable to, say, not Onyx Dragons because the range is not there, but the damage is similar. Obviously, it's getting a small boost from the skill Judgment here. Liu Yan doesn't have any unique... never mind, he does have one. Rally the Troops. We can give a boost of morale and range attack and melee attack rate to effective range for 30 seconds. Okay, so it's not a passive ability, it's active. It's not bad, but it's not really game changing. We'll probably still opt for Night Battle first, and we might even change up some of these retinues after the first few fight, especially after we wipe out Jialong. We don't need much help after that point. We have our son. He's our youngest son, our 4th son, and I think there might be a small timing issue in the game of when we have him, because if you look at our family, we have 4 sons. They're all alive at this point, which is historically incorrect, I believe. I think Liu Mao is dead, and he should have been with us in the beginning. So when Liu Yan got his governorship job, obviously the emperor is not going to let you bring your whole family so that you can be independent. He kept the 1st son, 2nd son, and the 4th son, basically because all of them had jobs in the government. Even Liu Mao got a job as a lieutenant in the army that Liu Yan was bringing with him, because at the time it wasn't very safe. In the Yi province, there was a Yellow Turban remnant group led by a guy named Ma Xiang, who was rebelling over here, and Ma Xiang even called himself an emperor for a few days before he got put down by Jialong, who were fighting very soon. But when we were coming in, Liu Yan was only with his 3rd son. But the 3rd son died after arriving, I'm guessing sickness. And after that, Liu Yan started to pretend to be sick himself so that the emperor would send in his youngest son to come in potentially as a replacement. And that's how he tricked the emperor to send Liu Zhang into the Yi province. Now, Liu Zhang had kids already at this point. Liu Zhang's not young. 29 is pretty old back in the days. But the kids stayed in the capital. And both of the older sons also stayed in the capital. And the 2 older sons, at this time, remember, Dongzhuo was about to get assassinated. After they get assassinated, these 2 sons will plot with Ma Teng to actually have a coup from inside the capital to kill Li Jue and Guo Si. But it failed, and they got discovered. Ma Teng got discovered. That's why in the 194 start, Ma Teng starts out on the run away from Li Jue because he just tried to throw a coup. And these 2 gentlemen here gets captured because they're inside the capital, and they get executed along with their kids. And at the time, there's a guy named Pang Yi who worked in the government in the capital, and Liu Yan paid him a lot of money, bribed him to try to smuggle Liu Zhang's kid out of the capital, and he did. So people like Liu Xun, got taken from the capital at that time, and Pang Yi came in to join Liu Yan around 194 with all Liu Zhang's kids, and Pang Yi became this pretty powerful advisor under Liu Yan, who was representative of the Dongzhou group. So that's another topic. So there's a huge political struggle within the Shu region, because you would think there's local clans who've been very powerful in this region before Liu Yan, who's an outsider, came in here to rule. And this was a very rich region. You had the silk production in China here in the Shu region, because silk was called Shujin, or the clothing of Shu. So this is where you had that. That's a huge moneymaker. There's a lot of minerals here, whether that's salt, whether that's iron, whether that's gold or silver being produced in this region. So it's very rich. That's why it was also very corrupt. So there's a lot of corrupt warlords and prefects and administrators in this region. And Liu Yan was kind of here in the first place for the emperor to kind of fix that, even though he had really no intentions of doing that. But regardless, some of those local powers, including Jialong, Zhao Wei, and then Ren Qi, who's working under us here, are from local clans in the Yi province. So we call them the Yi political group. And Liu Yan represents a group that comes from the east. That's why the troops are called Dongzhoubing, right? They're the eastern province troops. And the eastern province mainly is the Jin province, which is right here, and Sanfu, which is the area around the two capitals, Luoyang and Chang'an. So kind of pieces of the Bin province, pieces of the Liang province, pieces of Jingzhou. And this group had refugees come in. This group here from Nanyang and the rest of the Jin province refugee come in, and they made up of these Dongzhoubing, but they also brought a lot of key political figures that got positions under Liu Yan, because Liu Yan was born in Jiangxia, over here, and his father was the administrator of Changsha, so he's from the Jin province himself, basically, but then eventually got a job in the capital, and now he's over here. So he supported a lot of the powerful figures from the Jin province to become powerful roles in the area, and also some from the capital area, like Peng Yi, for example, who helped his son rescue his grandchildren to come into the region. So those two political groups clashed a lot, and as those Dongzhou group became more powerful, a lot of these, original clan members from the Yi province started to rebel, like Jialong, like Zhao Wei, and that's why we have to take care of the situation here. Ren Qi rebels against us as well. I think Chen Chao worked under Ren Qi. They both got killed by us. I don't know who Zhu Gui is. Let's see what his character is. Doesn't ring a bell. The wife is also historically incorrect. So our wife should be the last name should be Fei, should be Lady Fei, not this Lady Sung, who I don't know where she came from. He should be with us and dead, and he should have a wife called Lady Wu, and this Lady Wu here will become Liu Bei's empress. Once Liu Bei took over Liu Zhang's territory, he also married the widow of Liu Mao, and she became the first empress of Shu. So that's also missing here. He should be married, there should be grandkids, but that might be too many people, because we're going to do a cleansing here, because we're about to talk about our challenge. The history lessons is over. Now we have to deal with this. So this is the aspiration and inheritance mechanic. You can switch between the two here. You can see your leader and your heir. Your heir can spend your aspiration points for inheritance rewards. These are currently locked. Each of them have a cost in terms of how many aspiration points it will use, and the lock requires you to finish these tasks here. There's 8 of them. So they vary from win 3 duels with your heir, which might be very hard with Liu Zhang here as our heir. Have your heir level up just once. Have 3 armies with maximum number of units. So this means we need at least 9 generals. That seems very demanding. Have your heir lead and complete 5 battles. So that's something we can do right away. We can have Liu Zhang lead our army into our first battle and get one of these ticks down. Have a city level 6 or higher. So level 6 is large city. Not a very efficient level, but not too hard to do. No 15 living factions. This one, I mean, there's easy ways to do this. Like, we can become vassal Dongzhuo on turn 1 if we wanted to, and immediately we'll know half the map. That would be one way to do it, but I don't think we want to be a vassal, so we just have to kind of expand a little. We also want to own 10 regions. That's not too difficult, and have an income per turn equal or higher to 1,500. That we can do on turn 1. This is probably something we will do right away, and then our income is just going to tank, because we're going to do trade-offs. So trade-off is the first way you can earn aspiration points while you are still in the Liu Yan phase of the game. And you can see here, there's 3 levels to each of these trade-offs, and you can activate them, and after 5 turns, you move into the next level. And obviously the higher level, the more aspiration per turn you earn. So at tier 1, as we can turn all of them on, we will earn 40 points of aspiration per turn for the first 5 turns, and then it will go to 80 points, and then finally it will be 160 points. This is not optimal, right? If we're really playing an optimal game, what you would want to do as Liuyan's faction is to not touch any of the trade-offs, because all you need to do is complete your task. Once you finish your task and get the inheritance, or at least finish the ones you want, because not all these are good. Some of these are actually quite bad. Like, okay, they're not bad, but you get 40% replenishment, but only in local county. So effectively, you have to keep your troops there for 20 turns, and you don't need like 20 turns of this. Like 2 turns of this is enough, but then like, what are you gonna do? Like, you have maybe 1 key recruitment center, but you're pumping out troops. Like, it's not efficient. Some of these are great. Instant level up, usable every 20 turns or 4 years. Yeah, that part doesn't sound great, but it's not bad. You get 75% character experience boost faction-wide for 15 turns, every 15 turns. That's good. And you can have spawn silver tier item every 10 turns. So that's excellent. And then you have 35% income from all sources in a local county. That's also not bad. So my guess here for a local county is that the boost will go on your leader or your current heir. And as long as they're standing there, or as the local county, you can give the benefit. So I guess this can move around with you, right? Local county replenishment, like your Liuzhang right now, would be the source of this. So I guess it's better than what I'm giving it credit for. But still, some of these you might not need. Therefore, you might not want to do all of them. So pick and choose which one you want to do. You don't need to gain any aspiration from trade-off because it does hurt a lot. And then you can gain aspirations after you pass it on by just keeping your cities tall. After you reach a large city tier, which is why we have a mission for level 6, each of your cities will gain you aspiration points per turn passively. So even after you inherit, you can still gain aspiration point. And you can see the limitations of the use, right? Even if I want to click everything every like 10-15 turns, it's not that pricey. And you can store up to like 10k worth of aspiration. So you don't actually need that much. So you're fine. In the late game, you have plenty of things, aspiration source with tall commanderies to kind of generate these. So the optimum play would be not to touch these trade-off. But we're here to do a challenge. So the first one here, we'll set up public checkpoints, which would reduce public order in all commanderies by 10 points. Well, 5 points in the beginning, but then 10 points. Basically, after the first 5 turns, it would just get worse for us. It would be 10 points. And we have to survive this. And we have to survive 20% extra upkeep for all units, while trying to put out 3 armies of maximum numbers of units. We have to survive 25% character salary, which jumps to 50% character salary, which is insane because we have to get at least 9 generals to make that work. And then we have minus 50% trade influence, so there goes some of our economy early game. We have to lose 20 military supplies per turn in all our armies. We have to lose 20% income from all sources in all our commanderies faction-wide. This is going to hurt. And then we have to increase construction time in all commanderies by 2 turns after the first 5 turns are done. This also hurts a bunch, and we lose 20 points of satisfaction. So this is where things will get really tough. This one, I think, is the hardest one to deal with because we lose 10 points already for the fact that we start out on legendary difficulty and that Liuyan is a strategist. So we're not talking about very high authority here. So we're not giving out a lot of satisfaction points. So losing another 20, you can see that even right now, we're losing 10. I mean, it's not even kicked in, I don't think so. Because the difficulty modifier, faction development event, is it already kicked in? Then shouldn't we lose 10 points? Oh, unless someone's boosting it by 2 points. Ah, wait, Liuyan's boosting it by 2 here, sure, but he's boosting it by 5. Wait, that's interesting. How does that math work? Yeah, you can also see his background in-game is not matching his background outside the game. So they intended for him to have the minus 25% redeployment cost and also for him to have the extra 20% to I forgot what is it. Is it all income? Like there's 2 bonuses. We don't have any of that here. We have the old one, the 15% income from industry from peasantry. So this is not great. Yeah, basically this is going to be a nightmare campaign for us, and we'll just have to deal with it. All right, so the trade-offs are on, and we can start our game. You can see our income's already tanked. Army upkeep is sky high, salary is sky high, and our incomes drop very, very low. So first things first, while our army's at full strength, we try to get a trade deal in. But unfortunately, our only trade target is the Han Empire, which I don't want to deal with. We mentioned we want to expand into their land, because one of our requirements is get 10 pieces of land. Oh, right. Another core mechanic is that once we get one task done, we can start to inherit. You have to have at least one task to inherit. And there's deadlines, because if we don't inherit before 195, we lose the bonus. You can see that if we inherit on time, timely inheritance, we get all these bonuses, right? And most of them are for heir, but there's a few faction-wide one extra trade route of the maximum number of Dongzhuo being we can have, plus 6 of each, and we can get faction-wide 10 points of satisfaction. Those are all great bonuses for us to have. These will all drop until they become penalties, and then I don't even know why we would want to inherit at this point, because once you do inherit, you would, get debuffed. But then again, it's really by his age. So I guess if you play Timeless, maybe you just don't, you can avoid inheriting, right? You can just like never die. But anyhow, that's the idea. We'll try to do this. I'm going to evaluate how far we progressed on the task. I guess technically, for this to be a real challenge, we would not inherit until we finished all 8 tasks, which sounds insane actually. Like this one, I don't know how we're going to pull off with all these trade-offs. 3 armies with maximum number unit, 3 duels with your heir. Man, because like this one, recruitment poster, I don't need this. This doesn't sound that important. This one is industrial restructuring. Right, so these 2 I can live without, but we'll see. We'll see how things look in 194. Meanwhile, how do we take care of our starting move? So if we're not trading with the Han Empire, we can trade with the Nanman factions perhaps. But they would need to reform to trade with us, I believe. So if we don't trade with them, we don't trade with anyone. Wow, that is rough. So do I trade with them? Because if I trade with them, I would have to expand into the Nanman faction. Or go north. It's much easier to take their land, though, to be honest. Okay, maybe we don't trade. Then our economy is still stuck in a rut. Hey, we got no silver items. Clay dog, military expert. Whew, this is gonna be rough. Okay, so let me make him leader first, or commanding general, because that will help our finishing the task. He should try to duel, so we'll try to get him some combat stats. He should probably keep that one. We should probably try to get more authority. Yeah, plus 1 point. We're probably gonna fire everyone. Our wife is free. Right, so she can do that. But everyone else should be gone. Plus, these guys are rebels. We literally historically kill Ren Qi and Chen Chao for rebelling against us, so we're not gonna miss them. And we probably only want to recruit characters who are like modest and humble. Man, this is gonna be rough. Alright, so she's gonna come here and do that just so that Liu Zhang doesn't hate us. And everyone else get fired on turn 1. We can't even banish for money because the satisfaction hit. Maybe we can do 1? I mean, she's already really angry with me. But then she will boost herself by 10 points, so she will be at 29. He's at 31. Okay. So he'll be at 41. That's much better. Yeah, their salary is at 187, so that's already the 27 points? 25% higher? Yeah, 25% higher. Ooh. And they just hurt. Okay, you're gone. We will try to capture generals and recruit them, because then there will be fondness, and that's 50 points of satisfaction. So we'll fight them first. And we'll try to get a duel that we need to win. Okay, he doesn't have tenacity of steel. That's really good news here. And we'll try to keep him alive so that if we capture him, we can maybe use him as a character with fondness, even though he historically rebels against us. But historically, he was like the highest ranking advisor that Liu Yan used that represented the interest of the E province. So I guess it will still make some sense. Let's fight this first. Alrighty, so I'm guessing, like most first battles, he will be willing to duel us. Dongzhou being archers or marksmen have the ability to guerrilla deploy, which is great. I guess we don't have to be shy. We can just open up on them if we want. Because I'm actually going to disband everyone right after, so casualties does not matter. But maybe this is too forward. Here, we'll just set them up here. Everyone else can just try to move up. I'll probably move in with the sun just to shut down his Wisdom of the River. I'll shadow him basically. Oh, alright, let's move everyone up. They don't want to duel. See, that's going to be the hard part. If Liu Zhang stays our heir, it might be very hard to get the 3 winning duels from happening. Maybe if we hit him a couple times, he might change his tune. Ooh, fire arrows. Fancy. The heir also needs to level up once, so he needs to get kills. Actually, why don't we just harass them? Charge in. Charge. Hunt for some kills. I just want to rout him. You sure you don't want to duel? He seems sure. Alright, maybe then we don't kill anyone. We try to recruit both of them to work for us. Jialong was, quite a nice guy. I think, it's just their personal interest got challenged, so they decided to rebel. He was the one who killed Ma Xiang, the yellow turban false emperor in this region, and invited Liu Yan in, who was stuck in the Jin province because he wouldn't get in because all the yellow turban threat in the region. And now we just gotta weaken them a little bit so that they would actually still would not budge. Okay, so these guys just go to the side. I mean, I'm 59, I don't have to do anything. Maybe if I whack him a couple times, make him rout.
你杀了多少人？我想还不够吧。愿汝之刀锋。
Okay, he's thinking about it. We'll do one more hit. Okay, and he's gonna route. I'm gonna try to see if we can capture. He's like 48%. He's like 18%. No, you guys face that way. Don't shoot. Come on, think about it. You're by yourself. Don't turn around. No, what? Turn around. That way. Face that way. There we go. Alright, don't kill him. Alright, we're gonna hope that we can capture. We could use a sentinel and a strategist for sure. Well, then I remember that Jialong's faction leader, so he can't join us even if we do capture him, but they get the auto wipe. If we don't capture their auto wipe, and we see the auto wipe, so that means we didn't capture. Oh, we did get him. That's good. So we're definitely employing him just because he would have the fondness. Man, he had 10% to evade capture, we still got him. Lucky us. Okay, so we employ him. We get money. Jialong is dead. Shi Huang takes over. Interesting. So he would be... See, the fondness, this is going to carry us. Because he has the fondness, he won't hate us too much. Right, spared and employed is worth 15 points. Faction fondness is worth 15 points. So that 30 points is going to stay. The recently hired is going to go away. But we can definitely use him. Alright, so that's one general. We got to find creative solutions here. Now, they build a magistrate. Terrible building. Level 3 State Workshop, beautiful. Level 3 Inn, beautiful. Farmland, we just need enough food. I don't need a lot of food. Enough food to keep the food consumption neutral. Small city. Is there any level 6 cities nearby? That one's 3. That one's 3. Okay, so I guess we do have to upgrade our own. Because no one's really high tier yet. That's gonna be rough. Alright. We are making 990 this turn. Right, without a trade route, it's gonna be rough. So we are definitely interested in taking this. Okay, so with that garrison size, what we're gonna do is get rid of the units. We will get rid of the Dongzhou Bing because they're way too pricey. We'll get rid of both of these cavalry. And we'll get rid of one archer. The reason why we don't get rid of both is because if we do get rid of both, then the enemy archer will shoot at us. The only issue I can see is that because we kept the archer, our movement's a little bit less, we might not be able to reach them next turn. So I don't really care about healing, so we're just going to go as close as we can. Yeah, I'm going to trust that distance here. Now we're making 2,413 despite all the trade-off, and we can finish one of our tasks right away. Right, we can make... Oh! It completed. Nice. So the instant we get it, we complete it. That's nice. 3 duel. Very, very hard. Battle is going to go. Okay. Alright, we'll try our best. Our flowing gold. The work to ensure your heirs prepare for their future role is almost endless, and you labor tirelessly to ensure they live up to the demands your ambition make them. Today, you take a step closer towards the goal. As an aspiration task now complete, your heir will thank you when the time comes to inherit. Wonderful. Too bad we don't get any experience for that. You know, thankless parents. What is our free reform at turn 1? Ah. 10%. Well, I guess that's why we have a level 3 State Workshop. We probably have to rely on... Man, what do we want early? We want maybe just tax collection? The building time is going to be insane too. It's not just cost. Because I don't think cost actually goes up. It doesn't. It's just construction time goes up. And we also lose income from all sources. Yeah, this is going to be an insane start. Once we get through it, once we inherit, life will be good. But before that point, yeah, we can become vassals to him. That's, you know, pretty easy way to meet more factions. No, that faction's death is going to be worth a lot of money for us. I'm just going to take a peek at what everyone started. Inspector. See, that's a good offensive weapon, but item, but it's not going to be worth trading for. No. No. I don't mind the public order. I would like to farm some rebels. That'd be a good source of income for us, and maybe duels. Do you have anything cool on turn 1? If I'm playing Liu Bei, I'm trading everything for this, because there's a set bonus with militias with this book. But we're not playing as Liu Bei, so not as keen to getting that. Okay, so there's really no items we want. We can trade food for money. We're about to go to war with them, so I guess that's kind of no deal here. Right, so technically we're surrounded by enemies. Yeah. Alright, I think this is all we can do. There's absolutely no diplomacy. We have no money. We did get a general, which is nice. Although he does cost like 187 per turn, which, it's gonna hurt. Action Council, Aspiration. Alright, so I think that's all we can do. Let's continue here and see what's up, because I'm not building any of the farms up. Right. Let's go. Alright, he didn't summon anyone, which is great. Okay. See, we can't really recruit anyone either, unless they have like really good background, like traits where it's like they're not going to complain about desire for higher office or anything like that. Yeah, we're probably going to be forced to keep capturing generals. Farmer. This is tempting. He's rank 4 though. He would complain a lot if we recruit him. But Farmer would speed up a lot of our builds. Right, we could put them on assignments minus like 2 turns for all green buildings. And that would counteract our penalty basically. I can make him Chancellor. Man, that would be so expensive. It's usually plus 200, but then if we get plus 50, it's like plus 300. But I don't think that's a bad move, actually, to pick up a farmer to counteract, because we've been building a lot of land development, tax collection. Yeah, what's the right build here? It's free, but it's 3 turns. That's not very efficient. If we can build this in 1 turn, it's better than this. But this will spawn us rebels. Oh, decisions. I mean, Private Workshop would work just as well. It would give us the most money, given these synergies, and then we get another salt. Let me get the salt first. Alright, let's win this first. We get 5,000 for winning this, for the faction wipe. Alrighty, so they can take damage for us, because they're getting disbanded after this fight. And, I'm going to use them as cavalry. And they have no anti-cav, so just charge. And neither of them have any active abilities either, so it's just about using their horses to pop whoever needs to get popped. And if we can wipe out the range, our range can do some things, perhaps, against the enemy infantry. I guess I don't want to share any of the experience. Like, this is free. This is still a map update issue because previously, before patch 1.6, this wasn't a salt mine area, so the map is not loading a salt mine map, which should have towers. Here, obviously, open field. This is the same map as, I believe, farmland, so that's why this is so easy. Not complaining. We already made our life like much more difficult than it should be. All right, so that was easy. Now what's next? Alrighty.
引以为傲的一战。
Well, now we're neighbors with Wutugu. Also, when you capture a town, you get aspiration. So that's why you can get aspiration be after you become inherited. So like you don't need to do trade-offs. I repeat, this is for challenge only. Don't throw the trade-off in your own game. It's gonna make your game so miserable unless you want it. So it's up to you. Imperial favor doesn't matter right now because it's before 197. This is a level 1 salt mine, so I don't want to raise it down to nothing. I'm not going to occupy it. The 100 income is going to be worth it. And also the 5,000 here. So this is something we're going to do. We already did. That's good. So we get extra peasantry for the first 5 turns. We can get extra industry if we build a building. I feel like we should recruit that general. Oh man, all these building times. Headache. We don't have a sentinel here, so nothing can be sped up for, you know, the sentinel buildings. I think we do build a land development. We just get the 3 core buildings, right? The state workshop, inn, and land development. It's a really interesting economy style. It doesn't like, it kind of ignores your county. It's not great. I don't think it's optimal, but for us, because we can counteract some of the build time, it might be worth it. It's for agricultural development. It's -2 construction time for green buildings and 50% food production, I believe. Okay, at least he doesn't have any of the demanding traits, but it's not great. I don't know if it'd be worth it to grab him. If we don't build that building, we're gonna recruit him. I think it's the best play. So he will kick in. Oh, see, it's a 9 point. That's the thing. He'll kick in next turn. See, it's 9 points when we have the +10 from her assignment. Without this, it's going to be really, really bad. And because he's a 9, we will pretty much have to make him Chancellor. It will just be an expensive character. 250 more. And that'll become 300 more after 5 turns. And we're not going to build anything this turn because it wouldn't make sense because it will become 1 turn next turn. Unless we build this and rush and we get 200 extra base. What's the rushing cost next turn? This is a 5-turn rushing cost. If we divide that by 5, it's about 650. It's about 2 point. Nah, that's not worth. Basically, we pay double to get it done in 2 turns. I'm not that rich. I need to build an army soon. Alright, so we want... He's going to have a stack here. That's his only land. I don't want to mess with him. So we trade with him. Make him depend on us for something. Wait, how does he have more than 2,000 at turn 1? I thought all factions started with just flat 2,000. Pay us a bit more? We're gonna have plenty of food, actually. Right. No. Okay, that's max.
如此良言，定是经过深思熟虑。
Right, so we'll let him do his thing. We'll attack them. When they can get a trade route, we'll keep checking diplomacy to see when they can get a trade route. And when they can't get a trade route, we will talk to them about the trade route. So ideally, we want to move towards this next before it ranks up to a city so that we can still take it. We currently don't have any movement, but we can cheat out some movement here. Oh, can we cheat out movement with existing generals? I think we can. So what I mean by that is we can do... I don't want this unit anymore. Move him out as far as we can. We recruit our capture general. We get rid of these. I know we pay for redeployment, but we have to do that anyways. And then if we recall both of them, he should get movement. Yes, that works. So I can move him. Even on March, it will be okay. Closer to this. Yeah, we're pulling all the tricks out of the book to try to survive this trade-off business. And then next turn, we can summon them into the army, and they could move into here and attack, and then we can probably beat this. What's the garrison like? It's just a standard run, right? Yeah, so I think we could beat them. We would recruit like 1 unit just so that they don't shoot us, and it'd just be a 3 general. Except for our 3 generals are not that strong. We have Night Battle. That's good. So he's quite useful. Oh, yeah, we're pulling all the tricks to try to get this to work. Alright, and we have no new trade partners, I believe. So the High Empire. I guess if we get into any war that we can't handle, we just immediately talk to Zhongzhou and be like, I'm going to be your vassal. Please help me negotiate peace. Alright, that's all we can do. Let's continue. Alright, so new turn. They're ready to go. This is now only 1 turn. That's kind of why we built that, and we can keep upgrading it as our income source here. We gotta try to expand. So change his stance. Recruit Liu Yan and Liu Zhang. And give them 1 unit so they have something to not fire at us for, these archers. The question is, what unit should we recruit? I think even if we recruit infantry, we probably have enough movement to get there, so that's probably why we would probably just recruit that. 251, cheapest unit possible. He would have fire arrow if he's recruited by him. We can still reach. Oh yeah, declare war for sure. And we'll definitely night battle them. This will still be incredibly hard, actually, to get this win. But let's try it. Alrighty, it's snowing. That doesn't really matter. Lots of towers. I don't think they'll charge out at us. Wow, lots of interior towers too. Well, taking this has no meaning because this is just a capture point for morale. It's not a victory point. We would just want to get inside and just use our generals to kind of hit their general and units. Their cavalry is the only concern. There's so many overlapping towers though. Like maybe this would be the best entrance because this one wouldn't hit us that much and we can just sneak in from over here. I can put him on like a distant side just as a distraction so their units wouldn't be all waiting for us, and we can maybe sneak him in later with a fire arrow attack, burn some of the town for morale hits. It's a lot of small things we had to worry about. Did they move any units there? Yes, they put a couple of spears. That's really all we can ask for. We don't have any range block, but we do have this, so that helps. Oh, they're charging out. Oh, new plant, new plant, new plant, new plant, new plant, new plant. Okay, so we let them chase us. Beautiful. Alright, we don't want anyone to rout because we don't want to get hit with any sort of army loss. We're gonna let their cavalry speed, break away from their main group. We charge it 3 general, hit it with Wisdom the River, try to wipe it out quick. He doesn't want to duel. Yeah, if he's going to stay our heir, we just can't get the dueling started. We got to find a better heir. Alright, they're out of range. Okay, we can go for the fight. We don't want to get knocked off our horses. Even though it's 3 strategists, we're still cavalry basically. And those archers are completely worthless, so it's just a cavalry unit here. Turn, turn, turn. Hit them with that. And we want to pull away from the enemy. Spear. Smash into that. Try to get some sort of chain routing going. Let their unit block their cavalry a little bit. See if we can hit him together. He will cause a morale shock for his units too. Keep moving, keep moving. See, this is where things gets really rough because I don't know if we can get them to survive the damage. Everyone's low health units here. It's not like we have a vanguard that can just roar on them. And we could be the one chain routing if we're not careful. Oh, the spears. Move out, move out, move out. Alright, they got 1 unit routed. We haven't killed many of these guys. Oh no. This might not be what we wished for. So we'll see. We're not gonna give up yet. Alright, we got 1 thing to route. That's coming back soon. Can we kill this thing? Killed a few. Don't want to get caught by the spear. So we gotta kite again. Old man's dropping. Still doesn't want to duel us. I don't know if we can take another charge from the enemy cavalry. Use that as charge speed. At least we might lose these guys. Alright, that's back. We'll see what we can do here. This is our last stand, basically. Ooh, what a leap. Alright, we got our first routing unit, who might actually get killed. Second routing unit. Yeah, not enough damage with that ceremonial sword. Might be too ambitious for us. We can't even get out. Let's see. We can just retreat our units, I guess. That would be the solution now. Pull out of the siege. We would probably want to select everyone
准备，
and hit that at the same time. Since we are sieging, we should get out just fine with a
我
draw.
方战士正在溃逃。
Decisive defeat? Let's see. Alrighty.
吃一堑，长一
Right,
智
it should just, it's decisive defeat, but it's basically a failed siege, not a big punishment here. They released the general. Okay, we got pretty lucky there. So, that was a little bit premature for us to try to take them down. They will charge out, and that cavalry is too much for us to handle.
充实
The punishment is not too bad. We pretty much just spent money on the archer militia, so 250. And now we can get rid of that. Everyone can get healed, and we'll plan a less ambitious attack.
此乃为和平而战。
Right, but we'll still want this or this. Maybe this will be easier since there's no defenders here. Right, we probably should have taken something like this first. Can't really tell about the road conditions in the snow, but that's the bridge. So this is probably we want to recruit people next. Ideally, we don't want to use an army if we don't have to. If we can find a vanguard recruit, that'd be really, really good. But right now, I guess we'll settle for this. Do I need to give them food?
朋友，
Like, am I worried that they will attack us? They like us right now. Similar values. Similar values? Okay, I don't trust your values. I trust our food. Our food diplomacy is what we're gonna go with. They can't pay us per turn because they don't have that reform yet. That's fine.
耐心才会有所收获。
Alright. Yeah. Maybe we should rush this too, actually. We can rush this for 700. We can build the next level. I mean, the rate of return is going to drop. Okay, let's not rush. Let's go for that afterward. I guess there's nothing else for us to do. Let's end. Balancing books. Oh. Mission success. I did make one minor mistake. I should have made Liu Zhang the leader of that fight. That way we get a battle there. Ma Tong requests aid. So we lose some income to get relationship with him. You know, helping you is what got our sons killed. But this is probably more historical. Sure, we'll take the hit. You can't recruit you. You're rank 4 as well. We've been looking for a sentinel, but ooh, stubborn's good. Stubborn's unbreakable here. Like, what we would use him for is actually put him for the -1 supervised construction, but right now we have him and we don't have extra assignment slots, so that's not going to be doable. Yeah, we're not going to get another assignment anytime soon. 23 points. Okay, so I think actually we should be less ambitious about this situation and be more ambitious about this one before they snatch it. Wow, Liu Zhang is just not happy here. Friendship within hostile faction. Who? Oh, with your brothers. Because they're the Han Empire. That's an awkward setup for us. Alright, we don't need this because there's no trade partners for us to be had. We get administrator, which would be actually quite valuable to keep satisfaction high and buildings cheap and faster, maybe. Let's get that. So instead of, maybe you can come here instead. Oh, he's currently on assignments. He can't. Yeah, we need him for assignment. This would work quite nicely. We recruit him, keep him happy. He gives us public order. He gives us industry income. All right, Liangxing, you're hired. Liangxing? If I remember correctly, he might be the one who actually ends up killing Li Jue in the end. And yeah, I think he might be the one. The name sounds familiar. He has a grudge, so he's fine. He's not a spy. So 13% construction costs, 15% industry, 3 public order. Put him in here. Items? %? Okay, that's pretty much max. We haven't unlocked this yet because we don't make over 3,000. And it's not a beneficial one at this point, so let's see what we can do. 3 turns. This is also green building, so it's 1 turn, but we don't need that much food. Yeah, we're gonna go this way. We also want to upgrade this, but this is 7 turns right now. Okay, so we're gonna first claim a piece of land over there. Let me use him as proxy. No one has reached, so it doesn't really matter who else we pick, but we want him on the field, I guess. I don't want him to acquire any more satisfaction issues, and we'll just recall him. That way he gets to move all the way over here, maybe in 1 turn. Be nice if it's 1 turn. Yes. So I'm gonna build this first just to get a chance to get items. And then now we can shift them over here. I don't have to worry about them taking that before we do it. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shang Yung's weapon craftsman. So that way, if we get all these, we have 10, and we're done with our mission. So we just need to build an army now, a small army, maybe like 1 trebuchet, some archers with fire arrows, and maybe a cavalry unit. Something efficient and small, because we can't afford things right now. Yeah, that's pretty much all we can do. It's not even... It'd be funny if Dongzhuo sends a large army down. It's actually impossible for him to do that. He has to get through... I mean, maybe he can do it. That would be something to see. But yeah, as you can see, there's really no diplomacy. Ah, Jinhuan Sanjie, you want some food? Our food appeasement with the Nanman factions. We're the merchant that plays all sides in the Nanman war for unification. Oh, come on. There we go. We got 1 extra. That's a win. In regards to moving closer, yeah, this road would be quicker. I could raise him now. And then we can move into a more advanced position next turn. Without using the exploit, because we only have 3 deployment, so this will actually work out better. And I'm going to squeeze him a little bit out this way. What is our mission right now? Prove our ambition. Rank Duke. So all the early game missions are done. That's not good. We don't have the Growing Might one. Okay, that's it. Let's continue. Sun Jian is dead. Turn 5. Well, that's so early. Because Sun Ce comes of age in like turn 7. He ranked up. He ranked up. Doesn't help us. So he can... I don't want this because he's not going to lead any battles. I want this because then I can put all the units on him. Like trebuchets and fire archers. Yeah, I think that's probably the plan here. Alright, I'm going to move him into striking distance. I'm going to recruit our boys over here. I could use him. I could use him. for some frontline help. What skill does he start out with? No. Then we're not gonna use him. We're still gonna use him. The Wisdom River is not bad in case we can get a duel. Right? We need to win those duels as well. Just ridiculous. So we finally can do some recruitment. We can use the general of the left and right trick for 5% savings. Also keep one general happy. In this case, we're keeping our son and heir happy because he's just very sad that his brothers are now in a hostile faction. That's fine. So we're gonna first pop this. And we're gonna recruit one trebuchet. Because we don't need to destroy walls or anything. I just want the enemy to run at me. Archer militias are really bad, but I don't think we have a choice here. With fire arrows, they're a lot better. And maybe like 2 basic cavalry. We're at 800 income per turn. That's probably okay. And we can switch to general of the right, and that income can go up a little bit. Alright, and replenishment with mustering 5 turns. Does it actually punish replenishment? It doesn't, right? I think the trade-off, there's one for military supplies and there's one for recruitment cost, or upkeep cost, but there's no replenishment hits. Right, okay, alright. I think this is fine. Alright, that's fine. And with this army, we should be able to clean up all 5 of these territory that we're looking at. And then the rest of the money can be used to put this to rank 6, which is 2 upgrades. And then we will have, let's see, what would we have? We would have, well, he will eventually level up. 3 duels, I don't think it's happening. Just because the system is not going to give us duels. Unless we get rebels that gives us duels. That's my only chance, I think. Or maybe we get a new heir. And we have 3 armies. That one is going to be very tricky. Have your heir elite. That's going to be doable. Have a city rank 6 or higher. That's going to be doable. No 15. That's going to be fine. We already know a couple more non-man factions as we trade with them. We're going to bump into more factions after we bump into Liu Biao. And okay, so most of these are doable. This is the only one that's really not doable. And if we don't get this, I'm okay with it, actually. So, yeah, let's just continue from here. Alrighty, so, nothing has happened that turn. We got an item, please be good. Not terrible. That's not good. Because we don't have a character that can really use it. And our wife is complaining. Why? You're doing something for the faction. Why are you still angry? Do I have to give you a title? We need her. Her assignment's vital for our faction. Especially... I know what happened. Everything dropped by another 10 points. Right, because it's been 5 turns. So we are in the 2nd stage. Oh dear. We are in 2nd stage. So this is the worst it's going to be. Right? This is the worst because next tier we get more bonuses but no more punishment. Our economy is at 502, which is respectable given all the debuffs we're getting hit with. Yeah, okay. We'll figure something out. We're going to end our episode here. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this challenge and see me get tortured. Ma Teng here is doing very well. He's forced Gongdu to just the pass. Can we trade with him?
很荣幸再相见.
Why, my friend, why? Save us a trade route. We just give you 10% of our economy. Anyways, if we can trade with him, that'd be great. If not, maybe Liu Biao. Maybe we create our own vassals, which is maybe something I will do after we hit the 10 region, because I think once it's checked for good. So places like Ba, for example, might just be a very good vassal territory, and we can just trade with them instead of having to hold it. Anyways, we'll plan that out next time as we'll pick things up from here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and see you all then. Bye!